How have you approached this week? Obviously, there was a lot of emotion in the group last week. It looked like it poured out in a lot of positive ways on the field. How do you keep that going?
Yeah, look, it's a great question in terms of the emotion of the last 2 weeks, really. And there is that thing where you think, is there going to be a flat spot here and there? But we're really focused on our opponent and what we need to bring that next week, and that won't change. We did that last week, although there was emotion around it. We're in a position where we just want to win football games, and I think that's enough of a carrot for the guys going forward.
Is that spark and intensity, is that the brand that you want to have every week, not just a one-off to start off with?
Yeah, I think that brand reflects our football club and how we've gone about it over many years, and to see it in full flight on the weekend, I think it not only pleased us as coaches and the club, but hopefully the fans as well. And that's really important, that we play a style of football that really replicates what we're about and what the fans can identify with.
A few of the players, I guess, maybe took it personally, Brad's departure, and that was the reason for the response.
I'm not sure about taking it personally. I just think it was just one of those galvanising moments that the Kangaroos are really synonymous for, and I think the boys did a fantastic job. They really executed the plan under a little bit of duress during the week, no doubt, but they executed what we wanted to achieve, and that was the most pleasing thing.
You've spoken about wanting to keep things more or less the same here, but can you sort of give some insight into what you've changed as far as tactics go?
To be honest, I haven't changed much, really. There was a few thoughts about maybe we kicked more on the weekend, but we just took what was made available to us. So we've gone in with the same plan, the same structures, really. But we obviously kicked a little bit more on the weekend, but that was because we needed to, and we thought that was necessary to win the game.
Do you think that when the team is struggling, they can get into a bit of a rut of maybe overthinking it a little bit? Are they playing with a bit more freedom at the moment?
I think all teams are like that. When you're a little bit clouded, your decision making is affected, and then you get yourself into trouble. I was hoping that the boys were really clear last week in our messaging as coaches, and I think that might have played a part in going forward and what they need to do.
As a young coach, Rhyce, have you lent on, or have you confided in some of the senior players, not just for your sake, but also to make sure that the group is staying on equilibrium?
Yeah. There we go again. Where were we?
So I think we were asking about if you'd lent on some of the senior players, being a young coach, just make sure to keep the group up and about and getting through the next 10 or 11 weeks.
Yeah, I certainly made sure that the leaders were heavily involved in the processes of the week, and their messages from me were to be clear to the rest of the group. But they're a great leadership group with Jamie, Jack, Sean and Robbie. It's a tight-knit group, but they're really clear in what their responsibilities are, and I just gave them a bit more.
What have you learned about yourself in the last week and a half as a senior coach?
I can function on not a lot of sleep. I've said before that it all happened pretty quickly, but I've really enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed the role, and it's been a challenge, especially early days. Those first couple of days was a challenge for not only myself but the whole playing group and the club. But I think as every day goes by, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable and really looking forward to the challenges that lay ahead for the rest of the year.
Obviously, Richmond have been a benchmark over the last few years. Is that where you're saying this team is at, that they can be competitive with the best?
I think so. I don't see any reason why not. We proved that on the weekend. I think we've shown that over the last 5 weeks that we can compete. We just haven't got the results, and the last 2 weeks have shown where we want to be and where we want to continue to strive to be, and I think that's a really good sign for us.
Rhyce, it's been written that you've got a really individual approach to how you deal with each player. Have you had a coach before that you've taken that example from, that you found that that's how they worked and it worked well?
Yeah, I've had a few different coaches, and I've been lucky enough to be coached by Mick Malthouse, Paul Roos and John Longmire, and my first foray away from Melbourne was to Sydney and under Paul Roos, and he was a really personable kind of bloke, and got along really well with him, and he got the best out of me, and I think he had that personal approach. But all coaches are different, and I think probably my coaching reflects who I am more than anything else. And I like to be a part of the group. I like to know what the guys are thinking all the time, and they know that I can support them as much as they need, and the rest of the coaches as well.
Have you spoken to Rhyce at all since taking on the job?
I've spoken to a lot of people. Rhyce sent me a text, and it's been great. I know Horse sent me a text, and I spoke to him as well. So the support's been fantastic, and I'll certainly be leaning on a few more people as we go.
There's another vacancy that opened up in the last few days with Brendan Bolton at Carlton. Would you be surprised, from what you've learned under Brad Scott, would you be surprised if Brad isn't coaching somewhere next year?
Oh, got no idea, mate. To be honest, I think for that, that's just so far away from what I've been thinking about. I've really wholly and solely been focused on what we're doing at North Melbourne at the moment, and the Carlton stuff. Like I can't control any of that, and I know they're going to go through a process of appointing a new coach, and I've got no idea what that's going to entail. So good luck to them, and hopefully they find the right man.
Impressed where you were, I guess, the way the young Kangaroos reacted, responded last week. Your senior players obviously stepped up, but Luke Davis, Taron.
Yeah, I thought it was a really even performance across the group. We have spoken a lot about the younger guys, and they were fantastic. Like Jiza and Taron and Luke, these guys, and Nick Larkey have been fantastic so far this year when they've been playing. So that was a really good performance. But let's not underestimate the guys that are at the top in terms of Jack Zeeble and Robbie Tarrant. Those guys are really standing up week in, week out now, and really leading the way. And I think Robbie's probably one of the most underestimated players in the competition, and I think his ability to shut out key forwards week in, week out is second to none.
There's been a lot of talk about the lack of top draft picks over the years. Do you see that there's a need to go to the drafts, even if it does mean putting established players up for trade?
I don't think I can answer that. I obviously only just come here from another football club. I haven't been privy to the conversations that have taken place before me. Look, we're just trying to get the best we can out of this group, and that's my number one aim going forward, is to provide the best opportunity for our players to succeed, and succeed now. So that's all I'm worried about.
How's Jamie McMillan tracking?
Well, he had a bit of a test yesterday, I think it was. I can't keep up. The days are all a blur, but he'll be ruled out, so he won't be playing this week, and we'll go through the process this afternoon in terms of who comes in for him. But we've got to train today and a bit of match committee tonight. So yeah.
What challenges do the Suns present for you?
They're a really competitive team. Let's not underestimate what they've done, especially early on in games. And I'm really wary of what they can do, especially up at Metricon. They've been in a lot of games for long periods of time, especially against good teams, and we're really wary of what they can do. So we won't be underestimating them at any stage, because they're a good young up-and-coming team, and I think, like us, they probably aren't getting the results that they deserve at certain times. So I'm very wary of them.